You know, what is it that really separates someone who's just good at something from a true master? It's not just hours and hours of practice, it's something deeper, almost a metaphysical understanding of their craft. Today, we're going to explore this exact idea, a whole philosophical system for mastering a skill, and we're going to use the art of archery as our guide. Okay, let's get into it.
So our whole journey starts with this one simple but really powerful statement from a master archer named Concordia. Right off the bat, this tells you there's way more to archery than just hitting a target. There's a hidden structure, a whole philosophy at play here.
And here's the path we're going to follow. We'll kick things off with the three basic components. Then we'll dive into the principle of balance. After that, we get into the really cool stuff, awakening the senses, and then the three big levels of mastery, the aura, the field, and the ultimate goal, perfect harmony.
All right, first up, the three major components. You know, you'd think archery is pretty straightforward, right? Point arrow, release, hit target. But as we learn, if you really want to succeed, if you want to master it, you have to understand these three core pillars first.
And here they are. First, the senses, which is all about your awareness. Then, balance. That's the connection between you and your weapon. And finally, the material composition of your arrows, the actual tool you're using. So let's break each of these down.
Okay, so with senses, we're not just talking about seeing your target, it's about perceiving everything around you. The example given is perfect for a hunter. You have to feel which way the wind is blowing so you can approach your prey from downwind. Because if you don't, the wind carries your scent, the animal bolts, and the hunt is over before it even started. It's about total environmental awareness.
Now, building on that awareness of the environment, we get to the second component, the principle of balance. This is all about making your weapon feel like it's a part of you, like an extension of your own body, a seamless union.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. This idea of balance is tied to something called an elemental affinity, which is basically your natural body type. So if you're a wind type, you're naturally going to be better with fast, ranged weapons like bows. If you're an earth type, you'll be more at home with heavy hitters like axes. The whole idea is to pick a weapon that works with your nature, not against it.
And that brings us to the final piece of the physical puzzle, material composition. This is about customizing your gear. So that lighter wind-type archer, they might use wood arrows for speed. But what if the target is wearing armor? Well, then you need heavier, steel-tipped arrows, and you'd probably need the strength of an earth type to even use them without messing up your balance. See how it's all connected? Okay, now we're making a big shift. We're moving from the physical stuff into the metaphysical. This is where the training gets really, really deep. It all kicks off with awakening the senses, and this is all about finding harmony between the elements inside you and the elements out in the world.
The core idea here is something called the healthy state. And this isn't just about not having a cold. It's a state of equilibrium, a state of balance, where your own internal elements, fire, water, wind, earth, are totally in sync with the world around you. And you can see this harmony is on a spectrum. The healthy state is, when everything is in an acceptable range. The diseased state is when that balance is broken. But the goal, the real target for a master, is perfect harmony. And get this, it's where you completely lose your resistance to an element, which weirdly enough unlocks incredible extrasensory abilities tied to it.
So how in the world do you get there? Well, let's look at the first level of training, the aura. The goal here sounds simple, but it's actually profound. You have to heighten your sensitivity to the wind. Think about it. We're so used to the air around us, we don't even notice it's there. This training is designed to completely shatter that. And the training is, well, it's intense. First, students spend a whole week in a near vacuum. Can you imagine? So the shock of returning to normal air makes them feel the wind like it's the first time. Then, in phase 2, they have to keep a torch lit in that same low-air room. This forces them to control their own breathing, to become hyper-aware of how they affect the air around them.
So once you've awakened your aura, you move on to the next level, the field. This is all about learning to perceive the invisible elemental forces that are all around us all the time. Forces we are usually completely blind to.
So what even is an elemental field? It sounds super abstract, I know, but we get this fantastic analogy to explain it. Okay, think of a fish in the ocean. To that fish, the water is just, well, it's everything. It's reality. It doesn't even perceive it as water. But to us, looking in from the outside, we can clearly see the water as a distinct field. The point is, we are all that fish, swimming in all these different elemental fields that we don't even notice because we're just in them.
And it's not just one field either. We're told reality is made of all these overlapping fields, like layers of an onion. We are constantly surrounded by fields of heat, air, magnetism, even time. Each one is a different aspect of reality that we can actually learn to tune into.
So how do we interact with all these fields? It's through something we do all day, every day without thinking. Breathing. Respiration. When you breathe in, that's inspiration. You're pulling energy in from the external field. And when you breathe out, expiration, you're releasing your own energy back out into it. It's this constant two-way flow of energy.
And that, finally, brings us to the highest level, the ultimate goal of all this training, perfect harmony. This is the grand finale, where everything we've learned comes together. The goal is to consciously synchronize your inner world with the outer world.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The ultimate goal is to sync the air flowing out of your own body, your breath, with the wind flowing around you in the environment. It's about completely erasing the line between yourself and the world.
And the reward for getting to this state is just incredible. You get extrasensory abilities. One of them is called zone perception, the power to see huge areas with perfect crystal clarity. And that brings us right back to where we started. This deep, metaphysical state of being gives you an unbelievably practical skill for an archer. It's amazing.
So as we wrap this up, this whole journey leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. We might not be swimming in an aerial field, but what invisible forces, what unspoken rules or unseen energies shape your daily life? What's the field that you're so used to you don't even notice it's there anymore?